That's right. That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another episode of the Bantha Bunch Show, and this is your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill. You're watching from Nerds at Night, Drunk Bantha's channel, or on Twitter with nerds_night. Let me tell you something. It's the Bantha Bunch Show. Let's go. Hey, 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 hey. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going out there? Everybody, I got to say thank you and shout out to everybody who's watching. That's right. That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody pour on in here. Shout out to my co-host, Penny. Again, I am your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill. And this is the Bantha Bunch Show. Say hi, Penny. No? You want to say hi? All right. It's going to be one of them nights tonight. Looks like it's going to be one of them nights tonight. It's going to be a great night. We've got a great show for you guys and gals and everybody in between. We've got the documentary series that I've been watching tonight. I got some documentaries to talk about with y'all. Excuse me. Into the Fire is one of them on Netflix. And also I'm going to talk about a little bit about Arcane. Arcane is a television show that's on Netflix, and we will be talking about it here on the Drunk Banthas channel and Nerds at Night channel on the Drunk Banthas podcast. The podcast is every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're watching this now, make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get those notifications and everybody keep you up to date. What's happening, Othelius? What up? What up? What up? Othelia said, what up, my Banthas? Just so you guys know, if you're watching on Nerds at Night, we can't see so if you're watching on separate channels, you can't see the other chat unless you're in that chat. So I'll do my best to keep posting your chats onto the screen so that you can get that community vibe with everyone else. Yeah. Also, we're going to be covering George Clooney and Brad Pitt's Wolves. Fifth Bantha says, what up? Gonna watch Wolves now. Yeah, man. Wolves. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit tonight. Right now, I'm about to talk a little bit about this crazy ass show that I saw. Hold on, I gotta look it up, man. I forgot because there's Into the Fire that I watched today. I think it just came out this week. And then there was another documentary that I watched called Jailbreak, Love on the Run. And see, I couldn't put that in the title for this video because that is a long ass title. It just wasn't gonna work. It just wasn't gonna work. And if you're wondering, why did I see a thumbnail about Arcane? Well, that's because we're going to talk about it a little bit today, and also because I forgot that I had watched Wolves. I forgot that I had even seen it, and I was like, man, I got to talk about that on the show. I forgot that I needed to talk about it because I enjoyed myself during that, but I'll give you guys a little bit more information here coming up soon. Yeah, what was I about to say? What should we start with? Because like I said, you know what? I'm going to start with Love on the Run. Do I have a drop for that? No, I don't have a drop for that. But I'm going to talk about Love on the Run. Again, we are live on Nerds at Night and Drunk Bantha's channel and on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, please give us some chat love, man. We never get no chat love over there at Twitter. I know it's mad people watching. So don't just be people watching. Come on and people watch in. Come on and chat with us. Fifth Bantha said, "Isn't that a song? Isn't that in a song?" I'm sure it is. All I am is a like log of music quotes. That's all I am. It's all I'll ever be. It's all I'll ever amount to. It's all I'll ever be. Yo, them New York accents on Gotham. New York accents on the Penguin are crazy, son. Like all of them are bad. So it's been encouraging me to do it as much as possible. Hold on. Am I freezing now? I think I know why I'm freezing. There we go. We got it back. Dude, I almost never eat Chick-fil-A for like dinner or whatnot. But your boy was struggling today, man. I had a headache. It was crazy. Sinus stuff. The weather's crazy out here right now. But anyway, y'all don't care about that. Y'all not here for that. Y'all here to talk about crazy documentaries, wild stories, and you're here to talk shit. Make sure you guys talk mad shit in the chat. Matter of fact, I want to talk about the chat first. Yo, it was some people whiling in the chat last week, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember. Maybe some of y'all weren't here, but it was a lot of people paying to say really racist shit. Like mad racist shit. One nigga paid $6 so he could ask me if I like watermelon. I don't even like watermelon, but I felt obligated to answer his question only because I hate watermelon for real, and also he paid $6. So, but this is the thing: I'm not mad at nobody making racist comments as long as you pay for it. So, just a shout out to you if you want to get your comment through and it's racist and crazy. Go ahead, make sure you pay about $6 because we will block the fuck out your ass right after you pay your money. I mean, we're going to take your money, but we will be blocking you. So that's the new policy. Just so it's out there. Othelia said, man, what? Where the fuck was I at? I don't know where you was at. It was last week. Maybe you got off. It was towards the end, I think. I don't remember. I can look it up, I think. Let's see here. Nope, not there. Let's see here. Because Jeff put it in the chat. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was at like 11:02 on Thursday. Yeah, it would have been like 11:02. This dude said, "Who's your favorite Newport?" I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what that means, but I'm like, come on, nigga. And then another motherfucker says, "Love the hair 5 head." That was creative. Then there was another one. There was a couple more. There were some crazy ones. Crazy ones. Let's see here. Fifth Bantha says, "I'll take any money racist money spends. If they hadn't paid, they wouldn't have been kicked. Or they would have been kicked." Nah, Othelia says, "Nah, I'd say fuck you and keep the money without answering shit." I did. That's what I was doing. But the watermelon one, I was like, yo, nigga, let me respond to this motherfucking foolishness so they know that I'm not bullshitting like let me just respond. But like I said, it was a night where everybody was chatting. So let's keep it going. Let's keep the chat going. Fifth Bantha says Othelia's is wild. Kind of caught me off guard. They just swarmed in, paid for racism, and left. Othelia said, forehead jokes. Nah, drop that Addy. We fighting. Yeah, look, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm going to leave that up for a second. Because honestly, you can't whoop. That's how I live my life. Like, you can't whoop me kind of rules. If you're out there commenting like that, I know you can't whoop me. So what good does it do me to concern myself with y'all? But that watermelon one, I had to say something. The 5 head jokes, I'm gonna just let y'all know a little secret. I basically looked like this since I was like 20 something. So like you're not gonna offend me. You're not gonna offend me. I'm kind of almost unoffendable. As a matter of fact, only time I get offended is by atrocities and like the crazy fucking weird corruptible bullshit that goes on in this world, like Diddy shit. Those are the kind of things that actually offend me. I'm offended in that manner because people are fucking disgusting human beings sometimes. And that's offensive. But other than that, it doesn't bother me. Ask chaotic theory if shit bothers me. Ask how hard it is to get me riled up. Fifth Bantha says the only times I've really seen Bill fighting mad, it was in defense of people he cared about. Look at that. Look at that. That's it. I am the Ta-Nehisi Coates of podcasts, baby. I'm the Ta-Nehisi Coates of YouTube. Put that on a t-shirt. I'm the Ta-Nehisi Coates of YouTube. Man, I just came up with that, y'all. Matter of fact, give myself a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, man, let's get into the shits. It's a good 13 minutes. Oh, wait. The longest intro ever, y'all. Longest intro ever. Shout out to all the new members. We're up to 65 or something like that. It's maybe 61, something like that. Anyway, shout out to all the new members, man. We appreciate y'all going. We appreciate whoever is a member right now that's been or that has been a member for over the last month, and you've continued to fuck with us into this month. Appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are keeping this shit going. Believe it or not, y'all are keeping this shit going. So we really appreciate every single person who has contributed. And if you can't contribute financially, make sure you just hit that subscribe button or share this with some friends. Even if you're not gonna subscribe, share it with your friends if you enjoy yourself over here, man. You know, it's a good time. New members video out for those who are members. Just came out today, so go check that out. And yeah, also don't forget we have shorts that we do a lot on the Drunk Banthas channel and Nerds at Night channel. And also, if you're a Nerds at Night fan, if you're a Nerds at Night subscriber, brand new video over there. Go check it out. Money Blake Weather got plenty of content for you. What was it? There's a murder in the building. Murder in the building. Yeah. There's a murder in the building video on Nerds at Night. Please go check it out. You're really helping us out. Thank you. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. I gotta find a way to sneak in the that one song that I have. but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Where? Oh,
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
All right, now I'm ready. So this documentary, it's called Jailbreak: Love on the Run. Now, this documentary is about a jailbreak that took place involving a love-struck, what do you call him? Not parole officer. Damn, why is it all of a sudden escaping my mind? Penny, what the fuck? Love-struck correctional officer and a murder suspect fled an Alabama jail together. This is the true story of their unbelievable love from the unbelievable run from the law. Their love could not keep them away from each other. Now, there's this lady. Her name is Vicky. She was an employee. Oh, first of all, I gotta say this all took place in Alabama. Roll Tide, okay? Shout out to everybody in Alabama. This did not take place anywhere that I've ever been in Alabama. Actually, I've been to Florence, Alabama once. So I guess this did take place in a place that I've been, that I've visited, but I've never lived there. What was I about to say? Oh, so this lady, Vicky, she had been working at the correctional facility in Florence for about 17 years. The conditions in prisons all over the country are horrendous. You know, no person should be kept in the should be jailed in the manner in which we jail people in this country. And I mean that sincerely. But if you are from Alabama or you've ever been incarcerated in Alabama, you are probably aware that the fact that Alabama and Mississippi, I believe, are the worst conditioned jails, prison systems in the country. They're overflowed at a rate that is insane. They have way too many people in cells. So just so you know, so if you get put into a cell in Florence, Alabama, for instance, in this prison specifically, but it's like this at most all of the prisons in Alabama. If you go into a prison, you go into a cell, you're assigned a cell. In that cell, you're going to be in there with 8 other guys, or it's a cell made for 8 people, right? And I mean, you're talking about a very small area, right? It's basically all bunk beds, but problem with that is that they are so overflowed that you end up having 16 people to one cell. So that's 16 people in a 8-person cell. You can imagine the issues that you run into. It's all kind of funky ass issues. Niggas ain't cleaning their ass like they supposed to. You know what I mean? Like that is a disgusting place to be in, but it also kind of creates the ability for some type of camaraderie to be formed amongst your cellmates, or it could cause friction amongst your cellmates. It's just depending on how you're viewing it, really, I guess. Like, it depends on how you do your time, and it depends on the type of people that you have as cellies, really. But I said all that in a digression from what I'm truly talking about. But sorry, I'm getting on Twitter here to see if anybody's on here, and we got some people on Twitter, so shout out to y'all. Even though y'all quiet, y'all just watch. People watch. People watching is my favorite thing to do. And that's why I watch these documentaries, y'all. So, so Vicky works at this correctional facility that is smack packed full, but everybody in the prison that worked there loved Vicky. And everybody who was a prisoner there loved Vicky. Now, this is that's a weird thing to me. As a person who has a lot of homies who've been locked up and family members that's been locked up, I look at it like that's like 99.9% of the time that's never going to happen, where you end up having someone who is loved by all of her coworkers and loved by all of the prisoners. Like, very strange turn of circumstances. But in my opinion, a really good thing, based off of the things that they said that she would do. She would make sure people didn't get isolation without extremely good reasons to isolate people. Like, it was crazy listening to the testimonies of prisoners who were detained there talking so nicely about this lady. It was a pretty diverse team too. You know what was crazy though? A lot of women correctional officers in this prison. And they were pretty much all old, y'all. In this documentary, they look like they in their 60s. A lot of the people that they interviewed, all except the black girl that they interviewed, and she was a front desk clerk. She wasn't even like a correctional officer. Othelia says the American prison system doesn't treat prisoners like human beings. And I think that's kind of their point. I think that's by design, is what I should say. That's absolutely by design. But like I was saying, man, there was nothing but females. It seemed like there was like 5 guys and 5 females that they showed in this documentary, or maybe 3 guys and 5 females that actually worked in the prison. So anyway, that was a little surprising to me. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little bit like, whoa, why is there so many bitches in here? Because what all of those ladies were able to what all of those ladies conveyed that was consistent among all of them was that it's hard to be a woman in the prison when you've got these men trying to hit on you all the time. And she wasn't saying it was hard being a woman because of them trying to hit on you all. It's like she felt unsafe, or she felt like they were coming on her too aggressively. She felt like they were preying on the fact that they knew that she was in need of some type of attention, if you will. That she, because they would just be like, I like your hair and all this stuff. And the women were very honest about how, you gotta keep your head on a swivel because people will try you and play you. And you have to maintain that you are in a position of strength, not in a position of friendship or equality, right? You can't have the inmates crossing those lines. Gers and Purrs says, good evening. Hey, Bill, Othelia, and Fifth Bantha. What's happening? Gers and Purrs. Gers and Purrs. We got to get some Gers and Purrs. I don't know. For some reason, that sounded like boats and hoes when I said it. Gers and Purrs. But yeah, man, I never thought about that. Like, okay, if I work at a women's prison, these crazy ass bitches talking to me, trying to throw some oochie wally wally, oochie bang bang at me, I'm gonna be like, man, get out of here with that, because I'm not trying to touch no prison booty. Prison booty got to be the smelliest booty. And I'm talking about, I don't care if you a male, I don't care if you're female. You go into a prison system where sometimes the AC don't work, and sometimes the hot water and the water in general don't work in the showers and shit. And you ain't got no soap because you ain't had no money to go to commissary and your soap is out. Nigga, some people just be, some of y'all sit at the house and don't take a shower just because it's a Saturday. I know it. I ain't going out. It's a Saturday. It's a Sunday. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't taking a shower. I know that. I know it's happening to you right now. So think about the type of mindset a nigga in prison is going to have. Like, he ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. So sometimes they not going to wash they ass. And me, this is just me. I ain't fucking no bitch. Got all this funk. As a matter of fact, I ain't fucking no bitch that I'm not fucking a girl in a facility that smell like ass and rank water and dirty mop water and shit. So, and Othelia says, damn, so they all just funky. It is funky in prisons. And you can ask anybody, if you go into a prison, it's like got that, it's got that smell. It's got that to it. So my only point in saying all of that 90-second rant that I just went on was that it's a disgusting place to be thinking about sexual things unless you are one of the people in prison. Now, if I'm in prison, man, I want to put my dick on everything, man. I might be putting my dick on ice cream. I'll be putting my dick on the telephone. I'll be putting my dick on pillowcases. I'll be putting my dick on everything if I'm a prisoner. And I guess if I was a female prisoner, I'd be putting my tatas on everything and my ha-ha on everything. I'll be doing it all because that is circumstances of your environment. But anyway, just saying. So so I said all that to say that the ladies there had a hard time. Gers and Purse says, well, Bill, desperate times call for desperate measures. I mean, you're right. Othelia said, dick on ice cream is nuts. Not unless you put your nuts on there, too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What do they call that shit? Man, Rocky Road. This is Rocky Road is wild. Anyway, I need to put that on a t-shirt. Just a dick and some Rocky Road. Just a dick with Rocky Road at the bottom, or a Rocky Road and then a dick sitting on top of it, just off the top. I don't know. Anyway, I got a headache. I might be off the rails. When I'm sick, I'm usually a little funnier. But just because I say outlandish shit, so forgive me. At any rate, so there's this other. So yeah, you know how it goes for Vicky. She works 9 to 5 or whatever to 5 or whatever time she gets off work, and she works like 5 days, sometimes 6 days a week. You know, she's that person, right? Well, there's the other character in this story. His name, damn, what was his name? Damn, I can't remember his name. We're just gonna call him John for right now, because I ain't trying to remember this dude's name. He's a disgusting human being. This guy, we're gonna call him John, or was it Chris? I think it was Chris. So we're gonna go with Chris. So Chris is a psychopath. He is a manipulator, a user, abuser, and he also is an accused murderer. I guess I can't say he's a murderer, but I'll get into that a little bit more. I'll get into that a little bit more later. So where should I start? Well, let's just start with Chris is from Alabama as well, a county over east of just one county east of Florence, Alabama, and he gets into it like he's been in and out of jail his whole life since he was a teenager. And one night he gets into it with his girlfriend at the time and pulls out his gun and shoots at her, and then shoots and kills her dog. And in attempt to flee after beating his girlfriend's ass, he goes to her neighbor's house and holds him up at gunpoint after ringing the doorbell. Holds him up to gunpoint, asks for his keys to his truck, and he leaves, takes off, goes to the nearest gas station, and sees this lady and her husband, like they're trying to like pull out. He pulls in front of them, trying to block them and get them to get out of the car. They do not get out of the car, and they go around him or whatever, and they avoid him. He fires off 2 shots into the back windshield, wounding the lady in the shoulder, and thus also not getting the car. Don't know why he did that. That was just dumb. And then he goes to a gas station, which they can pick him up on camera. And on camera, you see this dude. On camera, you see this dude run up on a guy. I think it was like a Camaro that he grabbed, or like a brand newer Camaro. And he like ran up on the dude. Hey, give me the, I need your car. Give me your car. And the dude's like, okay. Keys are in the car. And he drives off and he's like, hey, let me get my phone. Let me get my phone, man. So what does Chris do? He drives back, he pulls back or backs up, gives dude his phone, and then takes off. Let me tell y'all something. Don't do that. That's just the dumbest shit ever. Because you take him his phone, like I'd have threw his phone out, but I'm not going to give him his phone. You know why? Because that guy's going to call the police. That's what he's going to do with that phone. He's going to call the police. And now, predictably, you're in a car chase because police in Alabama don't really got nothing to do. You call in a fucking stolen car. There's no way you got far enough yet without driving crazy to get away in time for the police to not catch you. There's just no way that happens. So what ends up happening? The police get behind him. He ends up driving off the road into the dirt, and fucking crashes the car. Not to a point where he couldn't have possibly moved it, but the police surrounded him afterwards. So what happens to this dude? This dude gets out of the car, like halfway out of the car, like he's sitting down in the car still in the driver's seat, but he's got his feet out facing the police, facing the road from where he is on the side of the road. And he gets out of the car with 2 pistolas pointed at his cranium. Okay, he's got it pointed at his head, and he's like, I'm not going home. I'm not going into prison. Y'all call the sheriff. Tell him to come down here. Call the sheriff. And then so the sheriff was there, because he was asking to call the sheriff because this sheriff particularly had arrested him his whole life. So he was familiar with this sheriff. Let me just say, I would never in my life want to be associated with these fucking crazy psychopaths. But I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. So Chris has the sheriff come out. The sheriff is there. He's like, Chris, come on now. Oh, sorry. He's like, Chris, come on now. No, let's end this. And Chris is like, call my mama. I'm not going home. Call my mama. Tell her I love her. Not gonna make it home tonight. and he's like I said, he's got the pistols to his head, right? So the sheriff's is like, hey, Chris, nobody's gonna die here tonight. Just let's calm down, man. So they were able to talk him down and get him arrested because he said he wanted a sun drop. I'll come out, but you got to get me a sun drop. If you get me a sun drop, then I'll come out. What is a sun drop, you might ask? Ooh, Bill, what could a sun drop be? Is it a drug? Is it methamphetamine? No, it's an Alabama native soda pop or soda drink that you get in Alabama. I think it was made in maybe not Florence, but like around there. It was made, created, and now it's distributed. I don't even know if you can get it in California or anywhere else outside of Alabama. But at any rate, I'll come out, but I got to get me a sun drop. You bring me a sun drop and I'll come out. They get this bitch ass motherfucker a sun drop, and he cooperates, and they go to prison, and he gets transferred over to the prison that Vicky works at in Florence, Alabama. He gets sentenced to 70 years, and then he gets sentenced to 5 years, and he's facing 70 on a murder charge. He got 5 years for the crime that I just informed you all about, and then he was also facing a murder charge that would serve 70 years. So he's looking at 75 years, just in this short period of time, very short period of time, in the grand scheme of things. But I digress. Now we have our two main characters have united into this prison system, or due to this prison system. At this point, I'm kind of pissed off, not gonna lie. Kind of fucking mad, bruh. Because if Chris was white, if Chris was black, and I almost didn't have to do this, but I was going to do this game. I was going to say, guess what race it is? Well, we all know Chris is white. You know how we all know Chris is white? Because Chris is alive. Because if Chris was black, when Chris, let me just take you back through the events. And you think about it, if it was a black guy, Chris beats up his girlfriend and shoots at her. Hold on. He beats up his girlfriend and shoots at her. He then shoots her dog, killing it. Then he steals his girlfriend's neighbor's car at gunpoint. And then he proceeds to go to the gas station and steal another car. Well, no, before he steals that other car, he proceeds to go to the gas station and bump into and try to attempt to steal another car. And in that failed operation, shoots into the car. And in that shooting, shoots a bitch in the shoulder. And that's not all. Steals another car at the gas station. Then crashes in a car chase while running from the police, and came out of the car holding not one, but 2 pistols. Let me tell you something. If you black, you ain't got to come out of the car holding pistols to your head, threatening your death. Because you get out that car, pistol or no pistol, they gonna shoot you a lot. You get out of that car and you got 2 guns, man, they would have shot him 300 times. They would have reloaded and just kept shooting him. And let me tell you, the kicker. This guy, Chris, he's 6'9", 320-ish pounds. So not only is he a crazy ass white boy doing all this crazy shit, going around ruining people's lives, but he's also massive. And if you are a police officer out there and you're watching this right now, you can't ever say you feel threatened by a black person when y'all don't be feeling threatened by these 6'9", 300-pound white boys who be toting guns and shooting and killing and beating their girlfriends. These are things I'm not understanding. But I lie. That's really just a joke because I completely understand. Y'all are racist as hell, and that's what we do in this country as a policed state. We police. I don't want to say we over police. We police in an aggressive manner, depending on the type or race of person that we are dealing with. That's how we handle it. I wouldn't say it's a over policing because I need police around when crazy shit's going off, or if it's possible for crazy shit to go off. I would like the police to be there. Problem is, they treat everybody differently. But I just wanted to get that in there because this nigga, oh my God, this white boy was going ham. But yeah, he ends up in the same prison as Vicky. And well, I don't have to tell you, this is when things start to get sticky. Ooh, sexy. But Gers and Purses, not you talking about D on ice cream while I'm having an affogato. Oh man, damn. I'm sorry. Man, what's his name? Jeff was talking about that shit the other day. Huh. I think he was eating gelato. He was eating gelato. Gers and Purses sounds like a fun guy. Laugh out loud. Chris is a fun guy. And Othelia says we definitely over police. Yeah, I think it's how you look at it. I mean, I think we're saying the same thing, but saying it different ways. Or we're just saying different things. But yeah, man, this is a situation that I was like, this happens. This happens. It's not a weird type of thing that this happened, or unusual type of thing. People, let me say it like this. It's prison love out there in all kinds of ways and shapes and forms. Prison love don't just mean that it's a man taking another man's butt. That ain't always prison love. And I'm not talking about prison vape. I'm talking about prison love. Prison love. And it ain't just got to be about popping cheeks. Man cheeks. It's a lot of women who are correctional officers who you can either say take advantage of the men, or you can say pleasure the men and themselves, or sometimes they just straight up slap out, fall in love. A little side story. My aunt by marriage, she was, I ain't gonna say no names but my aunt by marriage married my uncle. Okay. They had two children, my cousins. What up, cuz? What up, cuz? Love y'all. But their mother got into a relationship. She was a correctional officer, and she fell in love and got into a relationship with one of the inmates. And like 87% of all inmates, or 84% of all inmates, he got out. And when he got out, my aunt divorced my uncle and left him for a prison inmate that she met while she was working. Very unethical, very immoral, and fucked up. Like, that's just fucked up. But I said all that in given context is like I have seen this. I've experienced this in from afar, but within my own family. So yeah, this was interesting to me, only in the sense that I understand how she would have fallen in love. Like I get it, but and she's a single woman. She's a single woman. But the thing is, this nigga ain't never getting out of jail. He is a murderer. He is at best a woman beater and dog killer and Grand Theft Auto committer. Like, this nigga is a character in Grand Theft Auto. This is Nico's older brother. Okay. Philmate says, love the accent, Bill. Laugh out loud. Hey, let me tell you something, brother. I can get all of your accents, all of your Southern accents. I can bring them to you. I can bring them to you. I got you, brother. Gerza Purse says, hey, Film H. Hey, Film H. Roll Tide. Roll, damn it, Tide. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby. I'm trying to see. You know what? I ain't got time to really look. If you're on Nerds at Night, shout out to y'all. Please make a comment. And if you're on Drunk Banthas, you can clearly see it's all about the comments. Baby, let's jump in. And shout out to everybody on Twitter. I'm tired of asking y'all to comment because you're not going to do it. But anyway, like I said, I can understand how this lady would have fallen in love. I just don't understand how she fell in love with this guy. And then, you start watching it and then you go, oh, this is how it happened. This is how it happened. This guy, he's kind of smooth. He's kind of smooth for like a backwoods meth head. I didn't quite pass the 5th grade type motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of one of them smooth talking, like, he talk like this, and he loves to be around certain people. And I tell you, this man talk just like this. And I don't know, y'all can say what you want to say. You know what I'm saying? You can use all of the negative words that you want to use for a person who talks like that. But I have to say that everybody don't sound like that in the South. And as a matter of fact, everyone doesn't sound like that in this documentary. Actually, yeah, there's 2 people who don't sound like that in this documentary, which this documentary is also a bad representation of like the South in general, in my opinion, because these people were like aware that she was some of them were aware. I'm venture out to say most of them that worked very closely with Vicky were aware that she was developing some type of relationship with this guy. And of course, the Sellies caught on to it. Now, let's just talk about a little bit of the perks that come with slapping cheeks with your correctional officer. Well, commissary is no longer a question, right? I ain't got to worry about whether or not we getting whatever we getting. And like all of the snacks, all the food, all the shampoos, all of the stuff, man, all the soaps, like the Sellies ain't even complaining. And it was some people that would come in. They said there was some new people that would come in every once in a while. They had to be like, hey, yo, shut the fuck up, cuz. You finna mess up the benefits of being in this goddamn cell. Shout out to everybody over there in Florence at the A1, cell A1. Shout out to all y'all. Because I don't care what you did in there. It is terrible conditions. Now, I'm not saying all y'all need to get out, but don't nobody deserve to be treated like that. But yeah, Vicky and Chris would pass notes back and forth. Chris would pretend like he was writing letters to his mom, but then he would ask his cellmates questions like, how do you spell gorgeous? And he would be like, okay. How do you say how you spell, like, you know, shit like that, like flirty words, like, oh, I'm flirting with this girl, but you said you was writing a letter to your mama. Why do you need to know how to spell pussy again? Like, like, yo, son, what you mean you messaging your mama all this weird shit? This is weird. So yeah, like the Sellies were able to catch it pretty quick, right? They probably caught it before everybody else, just because Sellies ain't got nowhere else to go. We sitting here, I smell your ass, you smell my ass, but we ain't nowhere near each other ass. It's like, it's just too close, man, for things like that to go undetected. And detected, it went. The gross part about this, y'all, is these people are not attractive people. I don't know how they're going to make this movie. They're going to have to find some dog ugly actors to play these people. We find out pretty early on in the documentary that these two they're having phone sex. And they're having a lot of phone sex. And they talk on the phone every night. When they were able to finally go through this lady's phone records, she had a burner phone, by the way. That's how she got away with that for so long. They were able to check this lady's phone records, and they realized that they had over 1,000 phone calls between the two in a little less than 2 years time. So 365 days a year, 52 weeks, over 1,000 calls. I didn't really think about it until then, like when they were explaining it. Like, for you to call somebody over 1,000 times who's in prison, for you to talk to somebody 1,000 or more times is wild. The best you should be able to get to is about 700. That's the best. If you're not their lawyer too, you should be at best be able to get in touch with them 700 times in 2 years, maybe 725, maybe. And I'm talking about that's pushing it. That is pushing it. Okay. I am trying to figure this out still, but because, like, how is he getting the ability to go to use the phone that many times that late? That's one thing they didn't quite explain that I would like explained. It was quite confusing, and when it got to that part, but they used to have nasty phone sex all the time, and they played that shit. I'm gonna let y'all know, man. I'd watch some of this stuff so you don't have to. And in this moment, I can tell you that was one of the things you didn't want to hear. Woo! Me and Alex was sitting here watching this documentary, and I was just like, yo, that is nasty. He said, the officer said, well, we went through a lot of the phone records, and we were able to find out that there were over 1,000 phone calls in between the two over a 2-year span. And one thing we realized is when we went back and listened to the tapes of their conversations, we were able to find out that they were having, I mean, it was immediate as soon as you listen to the tapes that their conversations were graphic in sexual natures at times. And we were able to determine that they were having a lot of phone sex, a lot of phone sex. And then, so right there, I am good. Like, I know that they had phone sex. They were very graphic, right? Like, we all know what phone sex, right? We know what that is. How about they played it? How about they played the phone sex? Mm-mm. 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 No, it's not right. I shouldn't have to hear that. I shouldn't have to hear that. It was gross. It was nasty. I would love to put it was the weirdest phone sex, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't bad that you can't listen to it, but the shit that they were talking about, like their phone sex was, if you were here right now, if I was with you right now, I'd put my hand on your chest and I would lay my head on your shoulder and I would kiss you on your body and we would just lay there. And then she's like, oh, you're so sweet. I'm just so happy. And he'd be like, are your nipples hard? It's so sweet and heartfelt. I just can't wait to be in your arms, lay there with you, and just sit in the quiet and think about all the time that we're going to have together in the future. Is your nipple hard? Oh my God, is your nipples hard? That shit was crazy. And she said they like to have been got there. Gerzer said, thanks for the reenactment, Bill. You're absolutely welcome. Trust me, it was way more disgusting when I heard it. Fifth Bantha said, so you're saying it turned you on. I'm going to tell you what it turned me on. It turned me on to the fact that weird ass white people in Florence, y'all need some better phone sex talk. Y'all ain't having phone sex, man. That's not phone sex, bro. Like, I mean, that's not phone sex. Or at least if, you know what, it's phone sex, but it's the most boring, weird phone sex I've ever heard in my life. And see, y'all don't have the benefit of seeing these people. You can Google it. I'm not fixing to reach all over here and start grabbing shit and no. But you can Google it and you will see exactly what I mean. These people not looking great. Again, the story is called Jailbreak, a Love Story. I think that's what it's called. Shit, I don't know. I forgot. I took the Google down and now I don't remember. But yeah. Jailbreak. Oh, wait, here it is. It is jailbreak. 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 It's jailbreak. Don't be late. Jailbreak, Love on the Run. Jailbreak, Love on the Run. So if you want to see what their faces look like, check it out, because that's what made it gross. I think that's really what made it gross. Had they been two really hot people, I think what it would have been is just funny and sad. But when it was two ugly people, it was sad and gross. That's really what it was. And also, basically, the dude did exactly what I just did. Tell me that they having phone sex and then just play it for me. Like, well, damn, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. So yeah. I wish it ended there, because on top of the phone sex, they were also having actual sex. They were having actual sex. It was in the prison. Yeah, in the prison. Yeah, remember when I was saying slapping cheeks inside of a prison? They were doing it in the cell that he was sleeping in, living in. How'd they do that, Bill? How the fuck do you have sex with one man in a cell of 17 other men? How do you do that? Well, let me tell you. Come here. Let me tell you. What they would do is they would make up a reason for all of the other cellmates to have to get up and leave. Like they would say Chris has to go to talk to his lawyer, or he has to talk to his lawyer. His lawyer's going to be in the cell, so you guys got to go. And basically every single time he had to speak with his lawyer, they had to leave. What they don't know is there's no reason for Chris to talk to his lawyer. Chris is going to jail for the rest of his life. He's got 70 good years put on his 38-year-old life in 2021. That's it for him, right? Especially with healthcare in prisons. This dude's going to die in prison for sure. Well, yeah, so they used to smack cheeks in the cell, dude. And one of the ladies, when she found that out, one of the ladies that worked there, when she found that out, she was as flabbergasted as I am right now, because she said it. She was just like, man, I can't imagine having sex in that nasty ass place. That is just the most disgusting place to try to have sex. Ugh. Jesus. But he must have been quick, because they made it quick. They made it quick. She was in and out. They got video evidence of her going in and out now. This is all on camera. And you're probably thinking, Bill, what the fuck is going on in Alabama? Why do these people not catch this lady? It's all on camera. They hearing, she's got the phone calls. Like, how is nobody catching this shit? Because they listen to your phone calls. It's all recorded, which is why we could hear it in the documentary. What I will say to that is, yes, I was thinking the same thing. It wasn't until the end, or close to the end, they explained. Actually, it was like right in the middle of the series, or it was an hour long movie. But they explain in there that Vicky is the one who monitors all those things. Vicky is the one who listens back to the recordings. Vicky is the one who monitors cameras, catching people, COs bringing in contraband for the inmates. So she is the one in charge of catching and throwing these motherfuckers out and getting more time for inmates. Excuse me. All of this to say she's able to cover her own tracks very easily. And because they're shorthanded and all this other stuff, she's the only one who ever even sees this stuff, right? And if she tells you to do something as one of her employees, you have to do it, right? And this is a very serious setting. You know, they can key with each other every once in a while on the job, but you're in a very serious setting. You're in prison with a bunch of prisoners. And the problem with the prison system in the state of Alabama is not depending on where you are, but not depending on nothing. You are either going to be in prison locked up with a guy who didn't pay a speeding ticket and now he had to go to prison, which that fucking happens in the state of Alabama. And then that guy will be in the same cell and booking with the same guy who fucking just murdered 6 people and walked around with their heads as hats. These people all get treated the same and put in the same place in the state of Alabama. So I just wanted to point that out. It's like, this is a crazy fucking small place And Vicky basically had the ability to manipulate the situation into where she never really thought that she would suffer any consequences because she wasn't gonna get caught. How you gonna catch the one catching the people who get caught? I almost said the people who get catched. That's what I should have said. How you gonna catch the people who catch the people who's getting catched? Now run that by yourself. Run that around in your mind and tell me when it stops. I just thought about this. Goofy is Southern. Goofy got a Southern accent. What the fuck, man? Y'all think all of us is dumb in the country, in the South? We're not all dumb. Some of us get out. The smart ones, we leave. The other smart ones, they take advantage of the people who live there. I gotta stop. But yeah, long story short, they go on the run. This lady busts this dude out of jail. Now, it's not one of them situations where you think it's going to be like this elaborate plan where they're going to take, like they're going to be sitting there talking to each other on the phone, like talking about how it's going to work and how it's going to plan, how they were going to plan it out. They were actually really good about keeping it a secret because of the letters that they exchanged back and forth that I was talking about earlier. And when you listen to the phone calls, it's a lot of code speak that you can tell they've had previous conversations before they got on the phone. And you can tell that even though she knows she can, basically avoid having to deal or answer questions or deal with consequences of the recordings, she still was deciding to talk in code, which just goes to show you that she knew what she was doing was wrong, and she let it be known kind of in those recordings. But anyway, there was no real moment where they sat down and devised this like elaborate plan. Like you think it's gonna be, I'm gonna roll by you with the laundry cart, and then you jump in the laundry cart, and then when you jump in the laundry cart, I'm gonna roll you down to the back side of it, and then I'm gonna come back around and pick you up. No, it was like she went and told one of the correctional officers to pull Chris from jail, from his cell. He was going to go for a psych evaluation for court. That this is a normal type of thing, very routine, usually takes a few hours, like 2 to 3 hours for something like this to go down. So she would have been expected to leave for a long period of time, but come back. But she didn't come back, because what she did is she just straight up walked this dude out of the place. Now, I forgot to mention that Vicky retired the day, like she put in her retirement notice 2 days before she ended up helping Chris escape. And on her retirement day, her last day, and at her retirement party, she booked it to go and fucking take off with this guy for the rest of her life. I keep hearing something. Oh, if you're wearing headphones and you're listening to us right now, just go backwards about 10 seconds and you can hear somebody honking their horn real loud. I don't know why this microphone's picking that up. Oh, it's this other microphone. Hold on, let me turn this down. All right. Sorry about that. So anyway, they end up just walking right out the front door, basically. I mean, and everyone who worked with her, once looking at the tapes, you could tell that she didn't even try to make it look like they were doing something routine, because when you're transporting a prisoner from one spot to another, protocol is to be behind the inmate, not in front of the inmate. You have to walk with the inmate in front of you to avoid some kind of attack or surprise attack, or it's for your protection and for the protection of the inmate, because if he gets loose and starts doing something crazy, we're gonna have to kill him. I got to kill you. So it's supposed to be for protection of everyone. She wasn't doing that, which goes to show you two things. One, she was breaking protocol and was comfortable in what she was doing, aware, cognizant of what she was doing, being that she was a stickler for the rules that she was, being the supervisor. And it also tells you, too, that she trusted this dude at the same time, right? So they're out on the run. They find out these motherfuckers is running from the police, bro. They breaking the law, breaking the law. And it's up. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I remember it happening just because I was like, oh, God, another fucking Alabama something. It's like all the bad news be coming out of Alabama. That's how you feel when you like from Alabama, when you're from terrible places, when you grew up and it was just a terrible place. It's like, man, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to say Alabama is a terrible place. But when you come from a place that has a terrible reputation and it's constantly popping up in the news, that's hard to deal with, y'all. It's like, even though I don't live there, it's like people who know me that aren't from Alabama, when this kind of shit happens, they like, man, look, there you go. There go your people. There go your people. I'm like, this bitch is white with fucking blonde hair. This is a big ass, tall ass country white boy. They're not my people. No, they your people. They your people. They your people. So it's like, whatever. But that's how it is. You are where you're from, where you're from. Can't do nothing about it. All I can do is be me, keep doing what I'm doing. But man, they went on the run though for about 10 days, 11 days, just out on the road, living the life free. I don't have to tell y'all how they got caught, right? Like the internet, cameras, they were able to trace her movements going back for at least 2 years of her, or like a year and a half of her purchasing things in small increments throughout time. Like she would go to Walmart or Target and do grocery shopping and pick up like a camping item as well. So she did one camping item at a time for every time she went to Walmart or Target or something. And so this lady's just like building her shit. And also she purchased some guns, which you can do at Walmart. I don't know if you can do it in every Walmart. Can you do it at Walmarts in California? Put it in the chat. Or just tell me to go fuck myself. I don't know. But she thought things out to the T. And you can tell that she was really with it. Like they would have gotten away with it. In my opinion, they would have gotten away with this had she had a little bit more of a criminal savvy mind, because you can pretty much tell that Chris was making decisions after that. When she got him out you could kind of tell he started making decisions after that where it just, the wheels started kind of falling off. A lot of scatterbrain shit being done. They were able to locate her on a camera and saw her switching cars to this bright orange Ford Odyssey or some shit like that. No, Ford Escape, which is a very bright orange. Well, like sunburst, bright orange type thing. I don't know, color palettes. Fun stuff. But it's alleged that, you know, he would have gotten pretty mad if he saw a big ass bright orange car and for the getaway car. So they ended up trying to spray paint the car green. Oh my God. And when it probably became very obvious that that was not going to work, they ended up ditching that car and buying another car from a guy who sold cars out of his front yard in Tennessee. Yo, I would tell you something. It's wild. You can really do that. Like, you can buy cars from a dude who has just cars lined up in his front yard with for sale signs in them. You can just go on up there and get you one. Which is wild, just wild. Oh man. But no credit, no money down, no interest. No problem. Just oh my God. Anyway, sorry. I'm just laughing at how country these motherfuckers are. But anyway, like I said, they used a series of events to end up finding these people. It's pretty simple shit, you know. It's 2021 at the time. So yeah, man. They picking them up quick, but really not as quick as you would think. You would think it'd be a little bit quicker. I feel like if they were in a bigger city, it would have been easier to find them. In northern Alabama, like if you live in Birmingham, like the center of Alabama is like Birmingham kind of. And once you get further away from that, it becomes more and more rural. So I doubt I feel like the amount of cameras that would have been available to them in a bigger city just wasn't there. The resources just weren't there for them to find them the way that they probably could have, or in a what am I trying to say? Like in a faster way. They would have caught them faster if the niggas had some goddamn cameras and technology. That's what I'm trying to say, goddamn it. Them motherfuckers fucked that whole shit up. Cause what ended up happening is they find the girl. I mean, they find them in a gray Cadillac that they had purchased. They end up finding them at a hotel room, and they're gonna wait for SWAT to get there. They're in Indiana, by the way. They've been gone for 11 days and haven't made it any further than fucking Indiana. Wild shit. Because the speculation was that they could have been anywhere. And like if they had really just kept driving for a long ass period of time, they could have been in fucking Alaska by that time. It was very sad. But at any rate, they did not get away. They end up fleeing from the hotel, being that I guess they noticed a large presence of extra cars and extra people who look like they could be the police, seem to be gearing up to enter into our hotel room. So they got into the car, drove off, and then it was on and popping from there, y'all. It was on and popping. Not gonna lie, this documentary kind of had a little lull to it before this. Before this moment, I was kind of like, nah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this doc. Like it's kind of just boring at this point. But it picked back up in the 12th gear. When you think about it in this moment, like in the moment where they're in the car chase, you start feeling bad for Vicky right there, because you're just like, man, this lady got conned into doing all this shit, and now here she is. Look at where she's at right now. 20 years of doing this job, and now this is, you're looking down the barrel of a gun, so to speak. So as they're being chased, the police do the little pit maneuver thing. They got all this chase on camera, by the way, like not just the police cameras, but they got building cameras that are catching all of this as it's happening. Clearly they're in a city in Indiana that has way better funding than the city of Florence in Alabama. But I digress. The whole chase was caught on camera, and you can see Chris is just driving erratic. He's going all over the place, back and forth here, back and forth, just shoot. Like, he doesn't know where he's going. There is no goal, no plan here. He's just out here doing it. And they end up getting hit with the pit maneuver and flipped over. And they end up flip, like the Fall Guy type shit. One thing that they played after that was Vicky somehow accidentally called 911 in the midst of the chase. Now, Othelia said Popeyes is better. I would say I don't mess with Popeye's chicken, but I fuck with their shrimp, dog. But Chick-fil-A, to me, it's like Ply said, we why is Lil Frothy calling me right now? What's up? You know we're in the middle of the show, right? Oh, sorry. Bye. I'm sorry. You called me during the middle of the show. I can't. What do you want me to do? Anyway. What was I saying? I hate when that shit happens. Now I don't even remember what I was saying. But shout out to Lil Frothy. She just called to say hi. Hope she had a good night at work. Where? My bad, y'all. Hold on a second. Did something happen? There we go. 1 second. All right. So anyway, yeah. Vicky is in the car chase with Chris. She's in the passenger side. She's frantic. She's looking around, looking at the police. They in the chase. Somehow Vicky ends up calling 911, or her phone ends up calling 911. How? I don't know. I think the Vicky called 911 on purpose, or I thought so. But then when you listen to it, it's not like she really called. It's you when you listen to her talking, it seems like it must have happened on accident. But man, what a crazy accident for your phone to dial 911. I mean, I feel like that's a really hard thing for that to have happened. Maybe she was rethinking things. I don't know. What I do know is the car crashes, flips upside down into like a ditch. And they are able to pull Chris out of the car, and in the audio of the 911 call, you can hear the car flipping and all this, and then you hear a pop, like you hear a gunshot go off. And it was Vicky. Vicky was shot in the head, like, but in a way that was like somewhere in the back of her head. Like they said, it was an awkward position for it to be in for someone to have shot themselves, but it was from her gun, had her handprints, her fingerprints on it, and that ultimately they had decided that it was suicide because the gunshot wound would have taken place before the car flipped over. So it was deemed a suicide. I'm going to constantly always go to my grave believing that Chris did it. Why would Chris do it? Why would he not do it? Nothing that he did made any real sense, even at that moment. No, we love you, Frothy. It's okay. It's okay, Frothy. We love you. We love you. But yeah, I just feel like he did it. If it was if the gunshot was in an awkward way or awkward motion or whatever, I think he did it. Like who's doing this, y'all? Who's doing this? Tell me. I don't know. But yeah, man, check out Jailbreak. Love and something. Jailbreak. Loving something. Love and damn, why do I keep closing this shit? Yeah, it's called Jailbreak, Love on the Run. Jailbreak, Love on the Run. It was crazy. Believe it or not, I left out a lot of information. I probably won't get to it tonight, but there's another documentary named Into the Fire that you should check out, The Lost Daughter. I watched it today. It's only 2 parts, but I think it's like 1 hour and 10 minutes and then like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So it is a good chunk of time, but sorry, Frog. It is a big chunk of time. So I suggest, checking it out if you got that kind of time, or you can watch it one day and watch the next one. It's Into the Fire. It's about a adopted child that went missing, and then the mother, who was the birth mother, goes out to find out what happened because she's informed by the adoption agency that her daughter had went missing. Now, let's read the little comment here. Fifth Bantha says, or we move to the edge of the state and try to escape a bit to no avail. That sounds like a testimonial. More, he's talking about Alabamians. Sounds more of a testimonial to me because it is. He's speaking his mind, speaking his truth. But anyway, just want to check in with our producer here. Producer Penny, how you doing? Penny. Hey. How's it going? You want to get up? Shake? All right. Well, that's good. That's good enough, I guess. Not interested in participating today, which is weird because she was like hype right before this. Now she's just ducked off, sleep. Stop that. Come here. Just come over here. No? All right. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to Penny P. And shout out to everybody who's watching right now. Y'all are getting it going, getting it up there. Let's get some more people in here. Share it with your friends, your family. But yeah, Into the Fire was a good documentary. I highly suggest it. You know, I hadn't even finished that Monsters documentary that I talked about on this show a couple of weeks ago. I need to finish that. It was really good. But anyway, let's talk about what we came here to talk about. Let's talk about the new Apple TV Plus movie TV show thing. See, it's a movie, but I think they want to make it like a continuation. Like it's supposed to be more after this. But yeah, the Apple TV Plus show Wolves. So look, I keep saying wolves because that's what you're supposed to say when it's multiple. You're not just supposed to be like wolf, the wolves. Look at the wolves over there. Gers and Purr says, "Oh, you're working producer Penny so hard, she needed a rest." Yeah, you should see her. She'd be humping the hell out of this little teddy bear thing. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing in the world, but she works hard, so you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm sorry, Penny. I ain't mean to tell all your business, but it's the truth. So, wolf. What do I think about wolves? Well, first of all, wolves. Should I read the description? Let me read the description because I feel like I'm doing y'all a disservice professionally if I don't read the descriptions. You know, Alex be reading the descriptions to y'all, and I don't be reading the descriptions. So am I worse? I think I am. So let's see here. Let's pull it up. Wolves is about two rival fixers, cleanup guys, played by George Clooney and Brad Pitt. They cross paths when they're both called in to help a cover up. Let me restart that over. Two rival fixers, George Clooney and Brad Pitt, cross paths when they're both called in to help cover up a prominent New York official's misstep. A prominent New York official's misstep. Over one explosive night, they'll have to set aside their petty grievances and go. Over one explosive night, they'll have to set aside their petty grievances and their egos to finish the job. So if you didn't understand that, just listen to what I'm about to say. These two, George and Brad, I don't even think that they say their names in the show. I mean, in the movie. Might be one of their names. I think one of their names is Jack. Doesn't really matter because I don't remember which one it was. Little Frothy says, I always thought it was Wolfies. Wolfies? 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 I don't think it's Wolfies, baby. I think it's wolves. Wolf and wolves. I think whatever. I think. Gers and Purr says, call HR, Penny. I'm gonna call HR. She keep humping this teddy bear. I'm gonna get this teddy bear to call HR because I don't think that's appropriate for her to do what she does to its head. But yeah, the district attorney ends up, she's a female. She ends up going to this hotel, bumping into this little young kid, 20-something young kid. She's like, you want to come up to my room, do a little hanky-panky, fall into something stanky. And he was like, hell yeah. Use a whole ass hot white lady and old white lady. I'm going to go up here with you. So he goes up there and, I think maybe he slapped some cheeks. I don't know. Let's say he did. but he ends up dying, or at least they think he's dead. Spoiler alert. It's not really a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but yeah. Uh, the story is basically about this lady, the district attorney, calling her cleaner, calling a number that she's been provided by someone previously, and this man shows up, which is George Clooney. George Clooney shows up, and then another cleaner shows up, which is played by Brad Pitt, and hilarious hijinks take place. There's a couple of scenes in this movie. Well, first of all, I liked this movie. I thought that it was a fun movie. I thought that it was like it kept me engaged. I was genuinely interested in the mystery element of this movie. And Brad Pitt and George Clooney did a really good job. They are the executive producers of the movie, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they're just producers on the movie. But they do a lot of it's a lot of Ocean's 11 type vibes, but at the same time, Ocean's 11 is rated PG-13. This is rated R, so it's just a little bit more edgy, but I'm guaranteeing that the rated R rating that they got is mostly for language, because there's not really a lot of blood, and there's not any sexual situations or nudity. So very curious as to why they really gave him an R rating. I'd be interested to know that, but well, I ain't gonna say I'm curious, but I'd be interested to know that because I ain't curious at all. Not curious enough to go find it out. I could probably find it out on my own. But I'll just wait for it to come to me naturally. Just come. Everybody just come. Just come, everybody. No, but the movie has gang elements, not too much, but there are certain scenes that just had me losing it. There is a chase scene in this movie that I swear I've heard some critics say that it was too long. I just feel like that person, that particular critic, I ain't gonna say his name, but I feel like that particular critic just wasn't gonna enjoy this in any way, shape, or form, because this particular critic had a mindset of, well, if you're of a certain age, you won't like this because you're probably too young to care about Brad Pitt and George Clooney. And I'm just like, what? So because I'm young, I don't like movies? Because I'm young, I don't comprehend acting? I don't know. If you're young and you're watching this, let me know. Do you fuck with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, or do you feel like they just regular ass dudes? Because in my opinion, there's no way you could feel like they just whatever. But I could be wrong. It's not like we're talking about Danny DeVito and Robert De Niro in The Irishman, or fucking, was Danny DeVito in that? Maybe I'm thinking wrong. No, I mean, well, it was definitely Al Pacino was in it. But like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's of good age. Anyway, we're talking about Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Like, who don't like them dudes? You're weird. You're weird, old buddy. And I'm not going to say your name because that's disrespectful in my opinion. I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. You can DM me. Not saying you can't not like a movie, but I just felt like the reasons, or I'm not saying you can't hate a movie, but those reasons were not good enough to me. I felt like this movie is just a movie. in the sense of if you day ones, y'all know what I mean. But if you're new to this channel and you hadn't been with us for a while, when I say it's just a movie, I mean that in a very positive manner. Like there's just to use an analogy, like sports analogy, if everybody plays a role on a team, and if you are on the team and your role is role player, like you just need to do your job, we just need to accomplish this one thing, you do your job. That's kind of how I look at it. Like everybody works together and I ain't got to worry about what you're doing. I'm not worried about what you're doing. I'm going to do me. Right. And then we'll all work together. So to me, if a movie comes out and it's good, then everybody eats in all of Hollywood. Like all the movies do well that year. If one movie is even just okay, the perception of Hollywood isn't that it sucks. To me, that's what we are missing these days. We used to have like 200 comedies a year come out. Like there's only so many weeks in a year. How could you have that many coming out? But it's just like you got like 3-4 movies coming out a week. Got like 4 or 5 movies coming out a week. Most of them will be comedies or, rom-coms. And I think we need more stuff like this. This to me was a comedy as well. It was a dark comedy, had that element to it. Brad Pitt always eating in a movie. I love it. Eating or drinking. So he did his thing in this one. This is a good movie. Can't remember the little dude who played in this movie, but little dude, I think his name is Teen. No, it was something similar to what they do in Agatha right now. Can't remember what his name was. Kid. I think they just call him Kid. And like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure George Clooney and Brad Pitt do not have names in this movie. But anyway, the ending is kind of left up in the air. You're kind of left with this ambiguous ending. Like, did I just watch the ending? Is there going to be a second one? Did they live? Did they die? I don't know. Like, that's how your voice goes too. Your voice goes like this. This how you'll talk. Then you won't know. If you don't figure it out, your voice will sound like this forever. But yeah, very up in the air type of ending, but I heard there was supposed to be another one. It's very hard to look up this movie because I guess there's another movie that came out earlier this year called Wolves. That's like a sea movie. And like I said, this one's called Wolves. So I don't know. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. Wolves and sequel. Will there be a Wolves sequel? Every time I put it in, it changes it to Wolves. Wolves in the win column for Witch's Son. So Clooney and Pitt premiered the picture at the Venice Film Festival. Theatrical releases have become a pricey hit and miss situations, but the streaming result put Wolves in the win column for Apple, which has signed Watts to script and direct a sequel. So yes, there will be a sequel for this movie. And it'll be a little bit complicated because it all started after Apple won a bidding war for the film all the way back in September 2021, beating out Netflix and Amazon and MGM and Lionsgate. Filming began and the movie was set for a wide release on September 2024. Maybe it'll be up in the air as to who will get the rights. It sounds like Apple's gonna be the one that has the rights, but you never know what in this fucking climate, especially, you never fucking know what's gonna happen in Hollywood. But there will be a Wolves 2, and I can't lie, I'm kind of hype about that. I'm excited about that. I'm really ready to see that. But let me know what you think about the movie if you have seen it, or when you go back and watch it. Come back and tell me what you think about it in the comments, because I might be wrong. It might have sucked. But let me know if you thought it sucked, because this is a pretty big deal considering the way that they went about releasing it in the film festivals and whatnot first, and basically screen testing it on the film elite, because if you are going to film festivals, you are definitely a film elitist. But working it out there first and seeing if it works, that's new-ish. For big budget films like this, is very new, really. And you might say, what do you mean big budget, Bill? This is Apple TV. Well, what could be so big about it? This movie was a $200 million movie. Now, if you think about that, that makes the movie lose a star. So if we had to go 10 stars, I would give this movie a 7.5. But because it was a $200 million movie, I'm going with a 6, because I don't know where that money went. I can't honestly tell you where $200 million went, unless you tell me that 60 million, 120 of it went to Brad Pitt and George Clooney, and then I will believe you. If you told me it cost 60 million to pay both of them, to like 60 million a piece to get them in this movie, I would believe it. But it's probably a deal where they paid them up front, and then when the sequel comes out, they'll probably just get the same amount, but the budget will probably go up a little bit. Who knows? Or they'll pay them less and the budget go down. Who knows? But all I know is I'm excited to see the sequel, because the ending was so like, what? I'm like, yeah, now I need to see the second one. So I can't wait to see that. It clearly won't be for a long time, because they didn't film a second one. So we'll just have to wait. Shout out to everybody who's staying up late. It's almost time to get out of here. Anybody who is watching right now, if you need me to say something about something, go ahead and put it in the chat right now, and I will answer any questions. But I'm assuming there's not going to be any questions to be asked, because I think I've done a really good job today and told a really clear, concise path of understanding these crazy elements of television and movies. Would you consider it a docuseries if it's 2 2-hour episodes or 2 1.5-hour episodes? Is that a docuseries, or is that just one long fucking movie on Netflix? I don't know. Regardless, like I said, if you got any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. And if you're watching this and it's not live, you can still put questions in the chat and I'll answer them, man. We're really good about talking to everybody and staying up with these comments. So, yeah, come on over. I do want to do some shout outs. Hold on. Oh man, I was trying to do these comments. Where'd they go? Oh, so here we go. Shout out to Othelia's, Gers and Purrs, Alberto5147, and shout out to Manatee Lover and Raven Paul 11. Those are some subscribers who's been commenting, people who've been commenting. Shout out to them. Shout out to the new commenters and the new members who have been experiencing all that stuff over there. Did I say shout out to Othelia's? Yeah, because he's a member. He put in the comments. Gers and Purrs. Yeah, y'all were all in. I said both of y'all. Yeah, cool. And yeah, so shout out to all of them. And shout out to all the people who do not eat dogs.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 Eat the cat.
Sorry. I've decided we're getting one of those. Every fucking episode, we're getting one of those, is what I decided. Hold on. It's some I thought I had a comment that just came in. Oh, I did have a comment that just came in. Gers and Purse says, back at you for keeping us entertained. Hell yeah. Let me give myself an applause. Yeah, eating the cat. I'm gonna be doing that for a while. Not gonna lie. Gonna be playing that for a while. If you hate it, let me know. Put it in the chat. But not before you eat the cat. Oh man, yes. This has been a great night. Before we get out of here, I just want to let you guys know, like I said, there's new videos on the members only and new videos on the members only page on YouTube, Drunk Bantha's channel, and we've got brand new content over there at Nerds at Night. You can check them out for yourself. If you haven't, go ahead, subscribe, show us some love, hit the like button. Go to both channels and hit the like button, and go over to Twitter and just retweet. You can find me right here every Thursday. Whoa, that was loud. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got to slow down. What was that? That was loud as fuck. You can find me. Why does that come? Is that too loud for anybody else? Is it just me? That sounds loud. Maybe it's my headphones. I don't know. I think it's my headphones. These headphones must be going out, man. But anyway, we can get it back going. Yeah, but you guys can find me right here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Usually like 7:15. You know what I'm saying? We on CPT. But it's mostly because we like watermelon. Yeah, fucking cunts. You can also find me every Monday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, right here on the Nerds at Night channel and the Drunk Bantha's channel, and Nerds_Night on Twitter. Mondays, 8 p.m. Pacific time. We talking about all the TV shows and keeping you up to date with your finest of the finest content. Do not forget, we will be in LA at Comic-Con tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're in town, please come by, say hi, hit us up on Instagram and Twitter, and we will be right there chilling at Drunk Banthas on Instagram, at Nerds_Night on Instagram and on Twitter. Holla at your boy. This has been a great fucking time kicking it with y'all tonight. As always, Please, please, please like and subscribe. We cannot do this shit without y'all. My God, I love y'all so much. I am your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill, and I'm getting the hell up out of here, baby. All I gotta say is one thing. I got one thing to say to y'all.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go.
Go. Do it. Get out of here.